today what we're going to do, Isaac, you need to turn around. We're going to write the rules for integers. Okay? And the rules for integers will include all four operations: adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Okay? So the rules for integers. There's a bag of pencils on my desk, and there's paper there as well. Yeah. Alright, our first rule. When we talk about adding integers, okay, now we're talking about actually doing this with no number line and no models now. Actually doing the math part of it. Okay? Rule number 1. If the signs are the same. Now what do I mean by signs of an integer?
Positive or negative.
Correct. Positive or negative. If the signs are the same, yeah, let's take that S off. Okay, if the signs are the same, then we will add the integers I can write today. And keep this sign. So my examples are, if I have negative 105 and I'm adding negative 32, they are both negative. So at that point, I'm just going to add the two numbers. So I would get 137, and I'm going to keep the sign that I had. They were negative, so my answer is negative. If they're both positive, then I'm going to add them. And again, keep the sign. Both of these were positive, so my answer is positive. That one's pretty straightforward. What? Negative 137. So that's the first thing you need to pay attention to is if you're adding, what are my signs like? If they're the same, just add them and keep the sign. Okay. Very good. Somebody pause in there. You got a yes or a no? The second rule for adding is if the signs are different. Then you're going to take the larger number and subtract the smaller number. And at this point, I'm going to ignore my signs, okay? So I'm going to put that underneath, okay? Ignore the signs. I'm just worried about my numbers right now. I'm not going to rewrite my problem. Okay, everybody understand that? I am not rewriting my problem, but in my head or on my calculator or on the side of my paper, I'm just going to subtract the two numbers. Okay? And the sign is determined by the larger number. And we'll do an example of that one, okay? I'm thinking yours will be about $5, I'm assuming. She doesn't ring it up until we get out there, but okay. And she said no green beans, but coleslaw. It's in your room. On the desk. I saw it. Is everybody good with that? And I'll show you an example. It is hot in here, guys. I'm sorry. My air is not working at all. I know. Actually, I'm glad you said that because I want. Okay. As you notice, my signs are different because I have a negative here and a positive here. So my signs are different. So in my head, I've got to think 12 subtract 8, which is what? 4. Now, which one was the larger number between 12 and 8? 12. That sign was negative, so my answer will be negative. Okay? Let's look at another one. Let's say we have 35 plus a negative 100. Okay? In this case, my 100 is the larger number, so in my head or off to the side, I'm going to take 100 and subtract 35. And what is that? What? 65. And again, which number was larger? The 100 was, so my sign was negative, my answer is negative. 100 minus 35. Okay? Because 100 minus 30 is 70, and take 5 more off, it'd be 65. Okay? Everybody understand what I did? So if the signs are the same, what do you do, Nathan? If the signs are the same, what do you do? Alright, so again, Nathan, what happens when the signs are the same? The answer's the same. What do I do with the two numbers? Okay, Dalton, when the signs are the same, what do you do? What do you do with the numbers? How do I get my answer? You add the two numbers, and the sign is going to be the same as what I started with, okay? What about when they're different, Ellen? Okay, so you're going to take the difference, so it means I'm going to subtract, and then the sign is determined by the larger number, okay? Anybody have a question with the adding part? Okay, so now we move to subtracting. Okay, now on the subtracting, the first step here is we have to rewrite as an addition statement. Thank you. It's fine, thank you. Now, so I'm going to put underneath how we're going to rewrite this as an addition statement, okay? So I'm kind of doing an outline form, so I'm going to go with A because that'll tell me that's my first step, okay? We're going to copy the first number now. Okay, we are not changing the first number. You never change the first number. Okay, just copy it down. Doesn't matter what it is, you're going to copy it down. B, you're going to change subtract to add. Okay, we're going to go through one of these just in a minute, so you'll see the steps as we go, okay? And then third, you're going to write the inverse. And remember, inverse is opposite of the second number. And now we've rewritten it as an addition statement. So my following rules are, I'm going to follow my addition rules. Which means if they're the same, we're going to add them, keep the sign. If they're different, we're going to subtract the larger minus the smallest and keep the sign of the largest. And these rules right here you will use between now and when you quit taking any kind of a math class. Why? Okay. Alright, is everybody good copying? So we can do an example? And we'll do a couple of examples. Okay? Let's say we have 5 subtract negative 8. Okay? So the first thing we said we're going to do is make this into an addition statement, and you will rewrite it as an addition statement, and I can see it. Okay? So the first thing you need to do was copy the first number down. So 5. Second step, change subtract to add. Third step said take the inverse of negative 8. What's the inverse of negative 8? Positive 8. And then the last step said to follow your addition rules. Signs are the same. I'm going to add them, keep the sign, which was positive, and now I'm done. Okay. Let's do another problem as we go so we can see it, okay? What now? 13 is my answer, yes. And if you, Serena, if you didn't get that note part down, leave a little bit of room, and we'll go back in a minute because I put the steps on a slide, okay? All right, let's say we have negative 20 minus negative 12. Again, I've got to change this to addition. Step 1, copy the first number down, so it's negative 20. Step 2, change subtract to add. Step 3, do the inverse of the second number. So the inverse of negative 12 now is positive 12. And follow your addition rules. Are the signs the same or different? Different. So in my mind, I still have to go back and subtract the numbers. Okay, but I'm going to do it to the side. 20 minus 12 is what? 8. Which one was the larger number? 20, and it was negative, so my answer is negative. Yes. What? Why did I subtract here? Because my signs were different. And remember on my addition rules, if my signs are different, I have to subtract the larger minus the smallest, and I take the sign of the larger number. Okay, because think of your number line. Okay, think of this one. If I did negative 20, it's going to be over there toward the door, right? Now, when I come back on that number line, I'm going to do the opposite of left, which means it's coming back right, which means I'm adding that positive, right? And I'm not even going, I can't make it back to 0 because I'm at negative 20. So I'm going to stay in the negative side, okay? Yes. Yeah, that can happen. My signs are different, right? Okay, so what happens when my signs are different? Subtract the two numbers, so what's 8 minus 8? 0. Now, is it important here that I know which one was my larger number or my smaller number or anything like that? No, because 0 is what? Is it positive or negative? It's neither. Okay, it's nothing. Okay, because there is no sign on 0. Okay? Alright, anybody have a question on adding or subtracting? Okay? Rules for multiplying. And I'm just going to go ahead and put these together. And dividing. Okay? Because these are really the same rules. So multiplying and dividing integers. You have two rules here. One, if the sign's the same, okay, I'm going to put do the math, which means if it's multiply, you multiply. If it's divide, you divide, okay? And the answer will be positive. Always. I don't care if it's negative 2 times negative 4, your answer is always positive. So when the signs are the same, your answer will be positive. Okay? If the signs are different, again, you're going to do the math. And the answer will be what? Negative. Again, it doesn't matter when you're multiplying. It doesn't matter if one was larger than the other number. Okay? If one of them was positive and one is negative, your answer is always negative. And we'll do a couple of examples there. So if I have negative 12 times negative 4, okay, first thing you need to pay attention to, are my signs the same or different? Same, so my answer is going to be positive. And what is 12 times 4? So my answer is positive 48. What if we have negative 3 times positive 6? 3 times 6 is what? 18. Signs the same or different? Different, so my answer is negative. It didn't matter that 6 was the larger number and it was positive. It didn't matter. Not on multiplying. Okay? Negative 42 divided by 6. 7. My signs were different, so my answer is negative. Okay, everybody see those? I think the multiplying and dividing is a little bit easier, but we want to get them confused with the adding and subtracting from time to time, okay? We do not have to rewrite anything for multiplying and dividing, okay? We just have to follow those two rules, okay? Anybody have a question? Yes, Naomi. Because, well, do you agree 42 divided by 6 is 7? Okay. They're different, so I have a negative and a positive, so my answer is always negative. And again, it doesn't matter which one's larger or smaller. It is my negative. Okay? Anybody else have a question? Okay, do these couple of problems just on your paper right there. Okay, just do those 5 problems really quickly. Alright, looking at the first one, we've got an add problem. Okay, so we're thinking about add rules. We only had two. Either the signs are the same or the signs are different. So in this one, which one fits? Are the signs the same or different? They're different. So it said to take your larger number and subtract your smaller number. So 12 minus 6 is 6. And which number was larger? The 12, and it was positive, so my answer is positive. So my answer is 6. Number 2, what operation? I'm multiplying. Are my signs the same or different? Different, so I know my answer is negative. And what is 2 times 5? So my answer is negative 10. Negative 14 divided by negative 2, what operation? Divide. Signs the same or different? Same, so my answer is positive. What's 14 divided by 2? So my answer is positive 7. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Molly. Because my signs are the same, and we know that if the signs are the same, my answer is always positive. Okay? Number 4, operation is addition. Signs the same or different? Same. So it said to add 7 plus 2, which is 9, and keep the sign, which was negative. Last one, what operation? Plus. Signs alike or different? Different, so it told me I subtract it. So 15 minus 10 is, and which one was the larger one? And it was negative, so my answer is negative. Questions? I should have put a subtract on there and I didn't, so let's do that really, really quickly. Let's do one subtract problem. Do that one. Remember, this is one that you have to rewrite. So there should be 2 lines to this one. I should see the rewrite problem, and then I should see the answer. I scrolled that up, so if you look back up, it's kind of halfway in your page now, okay? Who would like to tell me what the rewrite for the addition statement is, Chloe? Okay, and now what am I going to do? Add, so I get 14. So is it 14? Who wants to help her out right there? Molly? Nope. Who wants to help her out? Caitlin? Now, why did you subtract though? Because my signs are different, I still have to subtract the 2 numbers. So you get what, Caitlin? And why? Is it going to be positive or negative? Positive, because the larger number was positive. Okay? Yeah, we can. Okay? All right, here's another subtract one. Try this one. Negative 12 minus 5, and that's a positive 5. You have to rewrite it as addition. You cannot really subtract integers. You have to rewrite it and use the addition rules, okay? So the first step is to rewrite it. Then you use your add rules. Abby Hallman, can you tell me what the rewrite for the addition statement will be? Okay, so she copied the first number, changed subtract to add, and took the inverse of the next number. Now, she could put parentheses around that if she wants to. It's totally up to her choice. But do you see how confusing sometimes it looks with this plus and then this right here?
Yeah.
That's why they put parentheses, okay? It's totally up to you. Now, Abby, are my signs alike or different? They're alike, so what am I going to do to the two numbers? Okay, so I'm going to add them. Okay, so I'm going to add 12 plus 5, which is 17. And I'm going to keep the sign, so that meant that was negative 17. Okay. Did you subtract? Sounds like you subtracted. Why would you subtract? I'm just... Once you rewrite it, and we get this addition statement, we go back and follow the addition rules. Okay, but look here. We subtracted over here because I have a negative and a positive, so my two signs were different. So it told me to subtract the two numbers. Now in this one, I have a negative and a negative, so my signs are the same. Okay, so I'm going to add the two numbers and keep the sign. Okay? Everybody good, or you want another one? Everybody good?